Here we go. Episode 31 of the Hardline Sports Talk. John Michael Messeri. I am Michael Merlo. This is a massive, massive episode. JM, how are you doing?
Massive episode. Couldn't have said it better yourself. I'm just excited to get it rolling.
I think this is the biggest episode ever of the Hardline Sports Talk.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going that far.
Who doesn't love talking football? So
there's so much drama all over the place. I mean, you got the Mets breaking everybody's hearts. You got the Yankees falling off a little bit here. And then you got the start of the football season. I mean, come on. There couldn't be more drama.
The prime time of sports right now.
Life.
Yeah.
Of life.
Yeah. Oh, because
weather's getting better.
It's my birth month. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Our birthdays are coming up.
Yep.
Exactly. It's the prime, just life. So we're going to start with some baseball today because that's what we do. And we're going to get to our NFL predictions. I mean, everything. Division, team by team, division by division. Who's going to get in the playoffs, who's not, our playoff bracket, and the awards for this year. I can't contain my excitement.
Neither can I. I mean,
I'm in my throwback Victor Cruz number 80 jersey. Yeah. It's great.
I got I don't know if we can see it here. I got the Zach Wilson t-shirt on today. So
it's a good looking man on that shirt.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good looking man wearing a good looking man shirt. Yep.
Oh. All right. He went there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. By the way, amazing party last night at the Messeri house. I mean, just an absolute banger.
Somehow you made it to work this morning. I really don't know how, but
I went to bed at about 1:00, had a few sodas, and I woke up at like 6:50 and went to work at 7. It was, it was easy.
Yeah. You told me
do the same thing tomorrow.
You could run a marathon or something like that, you said?
Well, I think that was an exaggeration. If I said that last night, it was I couldn't run a marathon right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't run a marathon on 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So
that's all right.
Let's get right into it. Well, let's get it.
Let's go.
My dad was telling me I keep flip-flopping, back and forth, whether I love the Mets, hate the Mets, believe in the Mets. This is where I'm at. This is my stance. I love the Mets. I'll live and die with the Mets. My support will never waver. I don't think this team is making the playoffs. Can they prove me wrong? Of course. Could they? Yeah. Will I be happy if they do? Sure. But they're not. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to support them, but I'm not going to get myself excited again. And it's not just because of this loss. Listen, there are a lot of things, but Edwin Diaz, not being able to shut a game down in September is becoming a thing. He didn't do it in 2019. He completely collapsed. He only has a 9 ERA in Nationals Park in 12 appearances.
Oh my God! Well,
he's got a 20 ERA in
that
LA.
Game in 2019 when they collapsed and Kurt Suzuki hit that 3-run shot or whatever. He was on the mound that inning.
He didn't start the inning, but he came in and gave up the 3-run shot.
Right.
They were up 5. So yeah, it was a heartbreaker today. And listen, they had opportunities to score, but Diaz can't walk 2 guys in the inning. That cannot happen. So, yeah, the blame goes on Diaz because those 2 guys that he walked came around to score. I don't want to hear the, excuses being made. And I'm a Diaz supporter, but I don't want to hear the excuses. Oh, well, they didn't score enough. No, your closer didn't come in and shut the door down. If he wants to be considered a good closer in this league, you got to do that. And I understand the heart of the batting order was coming up. But it's the Washington Nationals. You got to slam the door there. Give this team a much-needed win. Go 2 games over 500. Pick up a half a game in the division because the Braves weren't playing. It was a tough loss. And, again, I'm not going to overreact and say, because they lost this game, I don't think they're making the playoffs. I just think that this is going to be too tough, especially if there's going to be losses like this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they had their opportunity to make the playoffs. They didn't capitalize when the division was really bad, and they could have kind of built a sizable lead in the division They didn't do that. And I think at the time we thought they were a better team than they were. Clearly they're not. Javier Baez actually hasn't been that bad.
Not bad. He's been great.
He's been playing pretty good for them. But he is very inconsistent. He could end up having terrible stats with the Mets by the end. There's still about a month of baseball left, so you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I agree. I don't think this team's going anywhere. I think they're obviously still in it because of the weakness of the division. That's their only shot. If they somehow did get into the playoffs,
they have a chance to wild card.
They're not going to go. They're not. Oh, that is true.
They're like 4 games out of the wild card.
Padres faded. The Reds, aren't anything special. So they do have a decent shot at that too. But if they do get in the playoffs, I don't think they're going anywhere unless Jacob deGrom comes back and pitches every single game for them.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, but we talked about this team for months, and it's kind of the same story. They're inconsistent. They're streaky. That comes hand in hand with the players. Obviously, the players are streaky. Conforto is streaky. Baez has even been a little streaky, but like we said, he's been good streaky lately. Lindor, nothing great out of him. So that's what this team is. They're mediocre, and they're only in it because of the weakness of the division. That's it.
Baez's numbers compared to his teammates that were traded are actually better.
I saw that.
Else. Yeah. He's grown on me. A guy that I hated a week ago today is now really warming up to me. He's played very well. He plays defense really well. He plays hard. And I respect that. And the one thing this is the thing, and I have went on record saying I don't want him back. But if he's going to be that guy he was in that MVP season or even the season after that, not the year he came in second, sorry, not the MVP season. He was getting on base at like 280. Like that's what he was getting on base all season. If he can get that to like 310, 320, if he can get the batting average up over 250 and, the same production, offense and RBIs, home runs, RBIs, I can live with that. I really do. I can,
right.
Especially with the defense. When he gets on base, he's dangerous on the base paths. I can deal with that. I can't deal with the under 300 on base. But we'll see what happens in the offseason. It'll be interesting to see how he plays the rest of the way. And if they do go after him, as of right now, he asked me last week, I would have said no. But if he keeps playing well, they're going to have to, at least entertain the fact that they could bring him back.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to feel pressure to do that because they got him as a rental. And, let's say they don't make the playoffs. Are they going to now say, we need to re-sign him. We think he's good, but especially because we don't want to have just traded for this guy, miss the playoffs, and then he leaves. So it's basically not worth it at all. Do they do that? I think that's irresponsible if that's the reason they sign him. Yeah, obviously you just sign him if you think he's a good player for your baseball team. But yeah, I agree. I mean, his on-base numbers are very low. He's actually what was the stat? Juan Soto's been intentionally walked more than Baez has walked this year or something like that.
That's something.
So yeah, but listen, that's the type of player he is. You take the good with the bad. He's a guy who he's a free swinger, but when he makes contact, the ball goes a long way. So you can deal with it, like you said, as long as those numbers don't get too low. And a 280 on base, that's too low. You need those numbers to be at least 310, in my opinion, 320 on base, something like that. Yeah, he's a good player. He does a lot of things right. He's a great defender, like you said, dangerous
anywhere you put him.
Yes, he can play multiple positions, but we'll see. I don't know what the blueprint is for this team, the way they want it to be built up, but do they want to throw? I don't know how much money he's going to be asking for, but do they want to throw over $20 million to a Javier Baez? We'll see.
The Mets have one of the most important off seasons. I would say the most important off season in their franchise's history coming up,
right?
Because of the new owner and just everything going on. The Mets and the Yankees, both of them have very good. I think, I don't know about you. I think they have very good beat reporters, writers. A lot of the Met beat reporters were having a lot of fun with the fact that the Mets are 69 and 69. I mean, like a lot of fun, like to the point where I was weirded out slightly. I mean, like way too much. I mean, these are grown men having way too much fun at the fact that they are 69 and 69. But for the first time, and like we're kids, we can joke about it.
Right.
For the first time in franchise history, the Mets are 69 and 69.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's not good. How can it be good? It's not a great record.
It's not a great record, but it's funny at least.
It's funny. I don't care. I'd rather us be 80 and 50.
Oh, that would be nice.
Right? That would really be nice.
That's about what the Milwaukee Brewers are right now.
That's actually what the Blue Jays should be, according to their expected win total.
Yeah.
80 and 55.
Let's not talk about the Blue Jays right now, huh?
Do you want us? Are we done with the Mets here? How long?
Yeah,
have we been on?
we're just touching quickly.
We're breezing by baseball.
Based show, but we can't sweep the New York baseball teams under the rug right now. We're in the middle of September baseball. So
the Mets are going to go to Miami for 3, and they come home for what is going to be an emotional 3-game set with the New York Yankees Subway Series at Citi Field. So we'll talk about that more on Thursday, I think, because I think we'll know a lot more. It'll be more fluid. So we're definitely going to break that series down next week. Not next week, on Thursday. But let's switch over to the other side of town. The New York Yankees lose today 8-0 to the Toronto Blue Jays, who are starting to climb up the standings in the wild card and the division, even though they're not going to have a chance in the division. But they're really climbing up that wild card. Like I just said, their expected win total is 80 and 55 with their run differential, which has been off the charts all season long. They're an interesting team. I think they're the most fun team to watch in baseball. I think they're dangerous. I think they're very dangerous.
they are very dangerous. That lineup is extremely dangerous.
I don't want to play them, but I want to hear your view because I've been asking you. I've even been asking your brother. How do you feel about them? Would you rather play them in the Red Sox? And I would rather play the Red Sox because I don't want to face this Toronto Blue Jays team.
Yeah, honestly, in a 1-game playoff, I might agree with you there because that lineup is lethal. I mean, you talk about George Springer and Bo Bichette, Semien, Vlad, Teoscar Hernandez. If those 5 guys right there, just
Lourdes Gurriel.
Lethal. Lourdes Gurriel, yeah, he's having a solid year. Nothing to, get too scared about. But those 5 guys I just said are all-star caliber hitters. And then you have Robbie Ray, who isn't going down yet for this Cy Young race. Just had a dominant performance the other day, 6 2/3. 10 strikeouts, 1 hit, no runs. So, yeah, I mean, the bullpen's not the greatest, but they got Brad Hand. I was hoping that he would be good. He just got DFA'd.
He's a Met now.
Now he's a Met, yeah. So that's the only thing that's the weakness of this team right now, and maybe the back end of the rotation. But, yeah, 1-game playoff, they're a force to be reckoned with.
I'd be scared of them. You're right. Robbie Ray, I think it's as of right now, it's a 2-person race for that AL Cy Young. It's Garrett Cole and it's Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
Robbie Ray, like we had said last episode, he's taken over the strikeout per 9 record.
Yeah, he's also taken over the tightest pants in MLB history.
Oh, yeah, Robbie Ray. Remember we went to the Blue Jays Yankee game, the doubleheader in May? He pitched, right?
He's got to be at least 2 sizes down on the pants.
He wears those like yoga pants. He really likes those.
So take it easy, Robbie. I mean, I know you'd be working out those quads, but you don't gotta be. It looks like body paint.
What are you worried he's gonna steal your girl or something? Can we talk about this for a second? Why is Andrew Heaney tossing batting practice in meaningful games in September and Luis Heel is sitting in AAA twiddling his thumbs?
I would, like I just said, I don't know. I would love to talk about it, but I just don't like, I can't give you a rebuttal. I can't be like, oh, well, Heaney's, there is no answer. Luis Seal should be on the team. Andrew Heaney should be DFA'd. I mean, the guy's
Oh.
freaking terrible. He had one good start against the Red Sox. That was it. He had 3 bad starts, and then he just imploded out of the bullpen against the Baltimore Orioles. Dropped 2 out of 3 against the team who that's literally the Rays lead in the division. The Orioles.
Yeah.
The Rays are 18-1 against the Orioles, and I believe we're 9-7, 9-8, something like that. It's disgusting.
That's crazy. That really is crazy. The Rays, listen, they took advantage of the bad teams in a big way. I can't believe that's the advantage in the division. Like, that's the exact number.
Just about. I think the Yankees are like 8.5 back right now. And the Rays, are 18-1. And then the Yankees are 9-8 or whatever against the Orioles. That's about 9 games, whatever.
Yeah, you're right. We were at the game on Friday night against the Orioles. The Yankees went, 4 innings without a hit, and they didn't look great. They won the game in extras. They were pretty close to getting swept by the Orioles at home.
Yeah, you're right. They very well could have lost that game that we went to, the first game of the series.
Not good.
Nope. So I don't know. It really is true. We get reminded of it every single year. Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. And one moment the Yankees are terrible. They go on a 13-game win streak, and we're talking World Series. And now they're hitting another skid right now. And it's time to say, oh, do we even have this wild card locked up right now? So it's the baseball season is a roller coaster. Let me tell you.
I think you got the wild card. I know it's mathematically, it doesn't seem locked up. It doesn't feel locked up. I think you're going to get it. I don't think Boston's got it under control. I think Boston's going to lose it to Toronto. But listen, we'll see. Boston's ahead of you guys right now, right?
No, they just lost the Rays today, so they're not.
Oh, okay. That was a crazy game. 2 inside the park home runs.
Yeah.
Terrible for Boston. Yeah, I'm sure you're just weeping over there for the Boston
we're
Red
a
Sox
half
fans.
game up on Boston.
Look at that.
And how about the Seattle Mariners saying, "Hey, guess who's back?"
What's their record?
They're 75-63. They just overtook the A's. Them and Toronto are both 3 games back of the wild card.
That's unbelievable. They got smoked tonight, though.
Yeah.
11-2 by the Astros.
Yep, 100%. All right, we diving in?
You want to dive in? No break?
No break. I mean,
we got a break.
You want to break now and then just go football for an hour?
What do you mean? What did you want to do?
All right, go to break.
I mean, we got to pay the bill somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna do our NFL predictions. You got an hour long of us. We're very excited. Right after this, here we go. We are back. John Michael Messeri, Michael Merlo, episode 31. We are back for the predictions. What everybody has been waiting for, the NFL predictions. We're going to start off with the AFC East. We're going to go through the divisions. We're going to give our playoff teams. Then we're going to do awards and then the playoff bracket to see who we got winning it all. Super excited. Do you want to? How do you want to do this? We should have spoke about this in the break. Do you want to go first? So you want to do one? I'll do one. How are we going to do this?
I think we're pretty good at this. We could just kind of go with the flow here.
All right.
I want to hear. We'll do. I'll say my standings. You say your standings, and then we'll dive right in.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
you can go first.
I got the Bills winning the division. I got them 11-6.
Okay.
I got the Dolphins in second, 10-7.
Wow.
I got the Patriots in third, also 10-7, but I guess the tiebreaker, I put it into that predictor thing, so it breaks it all down. Right. And then I got my my New York Jets. I got a little optimistic here. I went 7-10. I think that's their ceiling. Maybe 8 wins is their ceiling. Like really, if they just click everywhere as their ceiling. But It ended up 7-10. Surprisingly, though, I had them going 0-6 in the division.
Wow.
So a lot of out of the division wins. They really have a decently easy schedule outside of the division with the Eagles and the Bengals and the Jaguars. They play teams like that. So 7-10 for the Jets. Could see that, as 5-12, whatever, but that's what I ended up with. What about you?
All right. I got the Buffalo Bills coming in at first, going 13-4. I've got the New England Patriots coming in sixth.
Second, you mean?
Second, sixth. You know why I said sixth? Because next to it, because they're the sixth seed.
Okay.
In second, I got the Patriots at 11-6. In third place, this is going to shock you. I got the Dolphins at 7-10.
Wow.
I don't think the Dolphins play a favorable schedule as I went through. And I only got them 2 wins in the division. I mean, I guess that could be more, but that's how I see it playing out. And then I got your Jets at 6-11. I think it's a good year. I'm with you with the division. I only got them winning 1 in-division game.
Okay.
So you're right. You're definitely right about that. The schedule outside of the division. It's not terrible at all. So 6-11. I think the Jets are going to have a really good year. I've been saying that. I think they're going to click.
Right.
I think it's going to work offensively. I think defensively they're going to be atrocious. I think the defensive line will be good.
I don't think they're going to be. I think their pass defense might be atrocious, but it all depends on how that pass rush is. If the pass rush is good, then the pass defense might not be as bad because it takes a little pressure off the corners. But I don't think it'll be. It might. It's not going to be a top 10 defense. Obviously, it's not going to be a top 15. Might not even be top 20.
It has to be a bottom 10.
I don't think it's going to be like a bottom 5, bottom 3, like atrocious defense. I don't think it'll be that bad.
We will see. So, yeah, again, 6 wins. I think it's fair. I think that's a good season, too.
So we both
I think
agree the Bills are going to win the division. I know you're very high on the Bills this year. You have them with 13 wins. I have them with 11.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Bills are a legit team. They have a legit quarterback, obviously. I think they might take a little step back. Obviously, they won 12 games last year, 13?
Yeah.
12 games, I think.
I think it was 12.
I have them winning 1 less, and then obviously it's a 17-game schedule now, so 2 more losses. I think they're a great team, but I could see them taking a small step back. I don't think Josh Allen's going to take a step back, but I could just see the team. I think they kind of struck lightning in a bottle last year. And they've had a little bit of drama with COVID and stuff like that. So I don't know how that's going to stack up. But yeah, I have them winning the division. And I think 11 wins is a fair assessment.
Very nice. Let's move on to the AFC North. Wait, hold on 1 second. 10-7 for the Patriots. I don't want to spoil anything. Is that playoffs or no?
I'll let you know when we
Okay. Okay. We're going to move on to the AFC North. JM, please take it away.
All right. AFC North. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the division at an astounding record of 14-3.
Wow.
Then I have the Cleveland Browns coming second at 11-6. Then, in Mike Tomlin's first ever losing season in Pittsburgh, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going 6-11. And finally, to round it out, I have the Cincinnati Bengals going 4-13.
You know what's really funny about that? And we're right on par there. Not with the exact records, but so we both use the same app on our computer in which you pick every single game. And then it puts it to records and seeds for you. So that's how we get our records. But when I first did it, I had the Steelers at 6-11. And I was like, that's a little too low.
Right.
So I went back, I changed some things. So you'll see what I have them at now.
Okay.
So, but we're on par here. I got the Baltimore Ravens winning the division. I got them at 12-5. I think they're legit. I think I've been pretty wrong about Lamar. I've been wrong about Lamar, for the present, not the future. I don't think he's going to last.
I don't think he'll last. Yeah, I think his arm's decent to last, but yeah, I don't. He's not going to be scrambling for 1,200 yards every year.
Right. In second place, I do have the Cleveland Browns, 11-6. I think they win the division by 1 game. I think the Browns are legit. They got great offensive line. You know the deal. And that in their first losing season under Mike Tomlin, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-9. So I gave him 2 more wins. I was like,
I don't hate that. Yeah, I the problem with the app we used is great. The only problem is over an NFL season, like when you say, "Oh, I think this team's gonna do this record," it's easier because there's gonna be a little parity along the way. Someone will lose a game against a team they're not supposed to lose to. That's
right.
just how it works. But when you go individually and pick every single game, it's hard to be like, "Oh, this is a trap game," or they're gonna lose this one. Like, the whatever, the stupid computer.
You don't know the feeling. Like, you don't know.
Exactly. So it's harder to, I would say the range of my picks, like the non-playoff teams probably have worse records than they actually will. Like, I don't have a lot of like 8 and 9 win teams. It's either like 10 plus or 7 or under.
Right. Like there are a few teams here where it's like give or take, like
Yeah.
the Giants. I think the Giants could lose 2 more games or win 2 more games.
Right.
Like that's how I have the Giants in this, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And then I have the Bengals rounding out 4-13. I think they're going to be abysmal. I think this is not good for Joe Burrow, just considering the fact that they have no offensive line, that Zach Taylor is going to get fired. They're going to have issues. I think Burrow's good. Don't get me wrong, but listen, this is not good having to go through another coach and a terrible offensive line. This is not good for Joe Burrow.
And what do you mean with another coach? He's got the same coach. You think
he's going to have another coach? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is done.
Yeah, and then just going back to the Steelers, like the Steelers are obviously they're a well-coached team. Mike Tomlin, like we just said, he hasn't had a losing season, but I just think it's an aging, with Big Ben, he's way out of his prime, and that offensive line still hasn't really been fixed. There's some question marks on that defense. They lost some key players on the defense, kind of lost a lot of depth there. And who knows if they're going to be able to perform the way they did last year. And we saw the Steelers kind of seem like a fake team. We were talking about them going undefeated at one point. They were 11-0. And then they end up dropping the last 5 out of 6 or something in the regular season.
Yep.
And they lose in the first round of the Browns in a game where they got absolutely demolished, made it a little bit of a game at the end. But yeah, Steelers not loving them. And then Browns, I think they'll be great again. But I think this is the Ravens division.
I think it's the Ravens division too. I think, like I was saying with the Browns, they got a great offensive line. They're going to be able to run the ball. They've got the weapons. Can Baker, excel? If Baker, I think Baker is more of a game manager type guy, slightly better. If he can take that next step and prove me wrong, take that, Josh Allen next step with the weapons and the line that he has, that they can win the division. They could be a Super Bowl team with that defense.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't think he's going to take that next step.
Okay.
So that's my prediction.
This might be, besides Zach Taylor, this might be the best coach division in football.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski won the coach of the year last year. Mike Tomlin's a well-respected. When we made that list a couple months ago, I think I might have had him on the top 5, maybe right outside of it. And then John Harbaugh, another.
He was sitting in our top 3, top 5 easily.
Coach. So it's a really good coach division. And why do you think all those teams are always in it? Except the Browns. The Browns is a new thing, obviously, but the Steelers and the Ravens are always in the mix.
It's always a tough division either way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the AFC South.
Okay.
You're gonna start, yes.
Yeah, I have the Tennessee Titans winning the division at 12-5. Wow. I have the Indianapolis Colts coming in second at 11-6.
Wow.
Then I have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming in third at 2-15.
There we go.
And then to round it out, somehow you go 2-15. You finish third when the Houston Texans are in your division. You do it. Texans 1-16.
There you go.
I think
that'll do it.
Be absolutely dreadful.
Well, I mean, when you got Tyrod Taylor starting 17 games for you, that may happen.
Yep. And they're also a washed-up running back factory now.
Yes, David Johnson.
Even, Philip Lindsay. Washed up, but it's just like all these, like, guys that they pulled in from all these teams and hey,
That they
come play for
like
the
the
Texans. Rex
it's like
Burkhead.
the thrift shop. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, here you
yeah,
go. I
exactly.
want to throw this out. Oh,
Yeah,
we'll take it. We'll take your
yeah, yeah.
garbage. All
What's
right.
your how you stacking up here?
So I've said it multiple times how high I am on the Colts, right?
Mm,
I need to take a step back. I'm not as high on the Colts as I was.
sure.
Okay. So I have the Tennessee Titans winning the division at 9-8.
Wow.
I then have
Jesus Christ.
the Colts finishing 9-8 as well, but missing the playoffs, division. I think the Titans will have the upper hand on the Colts. Colts miss the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have coming in third place the Jacksonville Jaguars, 3-14, and then in fourth place the Houston Texans at 2-15.
Okay.
I found them 2 wins. I don't know
Right.
how I did it, but yeah, the thing with the Colts is, listen, Wentz is. Let's just go to this vaccine thing. I think that if you're an NFL player, you should get it because there's too much risk involved, and you're really, really, really hurting your team, especially if you're the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
So there's a chance Wentz misses a game here. There could be some BS thing where somebody he was with tested positive, and since he's not vaccinated, he's got to miss that game.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. So with me, Wentz is also just not hurt, not injured. He's always injured. Excuse me. I think that this is going to hold them back here. I think they got a really good roster. I truly believe that. But I think they're going to just miss the playoffs. I'm a little down on the Colts as I was to begin the year.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little more down on the Colts here. Obviously, I still have them putting up a respectable record of 11-6. I think that roster is a little more flawed than we think. They made the playoffs last year, but I don't think they're ready to take that step to be a true like Super Bowl contender, like you were saying earlier in the offseason. Yeah, I think wide receivers they can improve at. The defense could use some certain improvements. Even the we don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback play, like you said, with Wentz between the COVID and then him just as a player. How's he going to perform in Indianapolis? I want to just touch on the Titans because I kind of did what you did. Like I was higher on the Colts in the beginning of the offseason. And then I kind of flip-flopped and I was low on the Titans, but now I kind of flip-flopped. I'm feeling better about the Titans. And I think that defense isn't great. I think it'll hold.
It's actually
itself.
atrocious.
I don't think it could get worse than it was last year. Even with the loss of Adoree Jackson, I just don't see like it getting much worse. He didn't even play that well last year anyways, Adoree Jackson. But I want to touch on Julio Jones here because I hear people talking about Julio Jones and they're not that high on him this year and they don't think he's going to do that well. And even, they think, oh, he's not going to get that many receptions. He's not going to put up a great line because it's a run-heavy offense and this and that. You really think the Tennessee Titans would have spent a first-round pick on Julio Jones if they weren't going to incorporate him in some sort of role that's going to be highly productive? Like, I really would not be surprised if he ends up finishing with the more yards than A.J. Brown this year. I really don't think that's – I mean, I think he's a better receiver when healthy than A.J. Brown is anyways. So I think he's going to help that offense out phenomenally. It's already a high-powered offense. I think he'll help out Tannehill even more. And now you have to worry about 3 absolute studs in A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry. So that offense could be lethal. They might get in some shootouts, but I think they're going to be good.
I think the way they're able to run the ball, they're gonna be good on the outside. Obviously, I think Julio is going to take a step back. I think the injuries have caught up to him. I don't think he's going to be a bad receiver, but I don't think he's going to be Julio. I think that's A.J. Brown's receiving core there. I think he's going to have the better year. I'm a big A.J. Brown fan though, and again, when you're able to run the ball and control the clock, it kind of reminds me of that Dallas Cowboys team that won the division with Dak as a rookie and Zeke as a rookie. Right. They didn't have a great defense, but they ended up winning 12 games. I don't think that's going to be the case for the Titans. But listen, 9-10 wins. I could definitely see that in them um getting a playoff berth and a division berth, because I don't think the division's very good.
We don't really need to touch on the Jags and the Texans too hard, but yeah, two teams where the Jags, they got Trevor Lawrence, they got a new head coach, lots of draft capital still. So this is definitely a rebuilding thing for them. I don't see any potential in them winning a large amount of games unless Trevor Lawrence literally has the greatest rookie season ever.
Yeah.
And the Texans are just absolutely putrid. I mean, Tyrod Taylor is their starting quarterback. They have the Deshaun Watson problem. They
Don't
have
disrespect it.
cap space nightmares. David Culley's their new head coach. That's already a questionable hire. It's just the Texans are just like an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, definitely agree. Let's move on to the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're up first.
All right. Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs won the division for the however many times
Whatever
in a
it
row.
is.
15-2 for the Chiefs.
Okay, very nice.
Coming in second, 11-6, Los Angeles Chargers. Coming in third, 5-12, Denver Broncos. And coming in fourth, 5-12, Las Vegas Raiders.
There you go. The AFC West for you. All right. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs, the 1 seed, going 14-3. In second place, I've got Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers, going 10-7. In third place, I've got the Denver Broncos finishing 7-10. And in fourth place, I've got the Las Vegas Raiders 6-11.
Right. I'm not loving the way, if you want to be honest, I'm happy with the way my division stacked up. But in terms of the win totals, take that with a grain of salt, just because I'm noticing these numbers are a little inflated. I think the Chargers are like a 9-10 win team. I don't think they're an 11 win team. Even the Titans, I'd give the Titans like 11 wins, the Colts 10. But like I said, when I put it in this little thing, that's what happened.
I'm not going to lie to you. I understand what you're saying because it happened to me, and I went back and I made changes to really try and make these realistic. But the Chargers schedule is pretty easy.
Yeah,
if they won 11 games, it would not shock me.
I noticed that it is a very easy schedule, and Herbert's a stud, man. I think he's gonna have another great season. New head coach, hopefully. Brandon Staley, is that his name? Am I getting that right?
Yes, the defensive coordinator from the Los Angeles Rams.
Right. So he should help out. Be better than Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn was like awful his last year coaching with the Chargers. And yeah, I'm expecting big things out of the Chargers. I think there's going to be a high-powered offense.
I'm very excited to watch my boy Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. I think Denver. You can even flip-flop Denver for me and Vegas. I think Vegas can have that 7-10 record too, and Denver finished 6-11. I don't like their quarterback situation out there in Denver. I think the fact that they're starting Teddy Bridgewater is such a mess. It's clearly Vic Fangio coaching for his job here. Yeah. Like Vic's got to listen. We know what Teddy Bridgewater is. He's a bridge quarterback.
Right.
He's a game manager. What?
No pun intended, or
no pun intended. You need to figure out. I mean, listen, people think Drew Lock's a bust, but we need to figure out what Drew Lock's got. Right. And starting Teddy Bridgewater does not do that. So I think this is a miss here. This is clearly Vic Fangio trying to coach for his job. So listen, I could see them finishing in last as well. And the Raiders, listen, I'm a Derek Carr fan. I've tried to defend this, Raiders, Mike Mayock, John Gruden, whole situation, but they haven't drafted well from what it looks like. And it's just been a failure over there, I think.
I feel like the Raiders are like stuck in this like pit of mediocrity where they can't really go anywhere. And I think Carr's mediocre, I think
Carr's mediocre.
I'm not the biggest Derek Carr guy. I think he's way too inconsistent. He's put up seasons where he was in MVP talks, and then other ones where it's like this is mediocre. I'd say he's slightly above average, but then again, when you look at the quarterbacks in this league, there's a lot of freaking good quarterbacks. He's probably maybe top 15. I don't know. I'd have to look at everybody, but yeah, the Raiders have made some really questionable draft decisions. They had the Alex Leatherwood pick this year, which a lot of people thought that was a reach, including me. I mean, no one even saw that coming. The Cleveland Farrell pick a couple years ago, him fourth overall. I mean, oh my God, was that a reach? We were talking about him as a top 20 pick, maybe. So yeah, that was a reach. And then they also picked Jonathan Abram that year. Maybe a little bit of a reach, but yeah, they haven't drafted well. You're right, and that's all I think this team is. I don't think they're coming close to a playoff spot, and they're in a division with two teams that are way better than them, especially the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even have to talk about the Chiefs. We know how good the Chiefs are. They're not.
You know, the thing is, though, the Raiders play the Chiefs very well.
They do. They beat them last year, actually. I remember that.
Yeah, and they should have beat them a second time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have them beating the Chiefs once, I think.
Okay.
It happens
a
lot.
There's always, and that's, you kind of just proved what I was talking about before. There's always that like trap game in the division or something like that, and it's hard to predict those. So
I tried my best to predict those.
Right. I put a couple of those in there. I got a couple of upsets and this and that. But
there you go. I mean, listen, it happens, and that's why it's the most exciting sport out there. Let's move over to the NFC, though. Very excited to see the NFC side of things. We're going to start in the NFC East. You mind if I go first?
Yeah, take the floor. Let's go.
Yeah, the NFC is mine. All right. Coming in first place, I've got the Dallas Cowboys at 10-7. I think this is the best team in the division. I think they're going to have a very high-powered offense. The defense will be good enough. I think they'll be able to run the ball. They have a good offensive line. And Dak coming back, I think Dak's going to be fine. I think he'll be good enough, even if he still has something lingering. I think he'll be good enough. So I'm going to go with Dallas, number one. Number two, I've got the Washington football team at 9-8. Coming in third, I have my New York Giants finishing 8-9. And coming in fifth, the worst team in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, wow. 4-13.
All right. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning the division at 11-6. I have the Washington football team coming in second at 8-9. Wow. I have the New York Giants coming in third at 7-10. And I have the Philadelphia Eagles coming in dead last at 2-15.
Wow. Yeah, I had the Eagles at 2-15 at first. I found two more wins for them because
it's very
the
nice.
schedule's pretty easy. The schedule's easy for them. Yeah. Dallas and the Eagles got the easier schedule. The Giants and the Redskins got screwed here. They got the tougher schedules out of the four. So Eagles are poverty. We don't have to talk about them.
Eagles are poverty.
They are just poverty.
The Giants, we don't really have to cover much. We cover them all the time. Everybody knows how we feel about them. There's a lot of question marks on that team. This win total could sway, in my opinion, anywhere from 5 to 10 wins. I think, if everything clicks, they could be a potential wild card or something like that, or even the division, because who knows what's going to happen. It wasn't the greatest division last year. It might be the same case this year. But I'm a firm believer in the boys. I really like the
I am
boys.
too.
I'm a firm believer in Dak Prescott. I think this is going to be a really good offense, tons of weapons. Not the biggest Mike McCarthy guy, but I don't think he's also like Adam Gase level. But yeah, that defense and the O-line needs to stay healthy. Zach Martin's already out. He's got COVID issues. He's not going to be playing the Thursday night game, but I like me some Cowboys.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to be good. I've been saying it for a while. I think the football team, they got a tough schedule, but we'll see where they finish for me. The 9-8, it'll be close. And like we said about the Giants
situation, that's it with the football team. That defense is dynamite, but
that's why they have 9 wins. I think Gibson's phenomenal. I think he's going to be their best offensive player. And listen, I think they'll get a couple of wins. I think they'll beat up on the Eagles.
Right.
I think they'll be able to beat the Cowboys once here. I think they can beat the Giants once, obviously. So listen, we'll see.
I
I think
think
they'll be
that's
good
one
in
of. I
division.
think they're one of those teams where you look at it and you're like, oh, if only that team had a great quarterback, how good would they be? Kind of like those old Jets teams that went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Great run game, great defense, and even good weapons, receivers. Like if you look at the Redskins, I'm sorry, the football teams, roster, you're like, this is a damn good roster. Even on the offensive end, everybody wants to talk about the defense. Even on the offense, you got Antonio Gibson, you got Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas. Like those are some legit weapons, and they have a good
Yeah.
O line, but it's just Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, neither do I. So we'll talk we'll break down the Giants and the Jets, of course, on Thursday before their big games coming up this weekend. Let's move over to the NFC North though. We'll talk some Green Bay Packers are here. I've got them finishing number 1 in the division at 12-5. Coming in second place, I've got the Minnesota Vikings finishing 9-8. Coming in third, I've got the Chicago Bears 6-11, and coming in fourth, the Detroit Lions, the exciting Detroit Lions, with Jared Goff at 4-13.
Very similar. I have the Green Bay Packers winning the division at 12-5.
Wow.
I have the Minnesota Vikings coming in second, 8-9.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears 5-12, and the Detroit Lions 5-12.
Yeah. Thank you for the 5-12 with the Bears. That Giants pick will be really, really good.
Yes,
next year.
Good.
They do play a tough schedule. I don't think they're very good, but their schedule is not easy.
Right. And that whole quarterback situation with they're going to be like, do we go to the young kid and try to develop him now, or do we stick with Dalton? And it's, I don't know. I don't see it working.
That's not a good situation over there because Ryan Pace drafts this guy, right? And with Matt Nagy, of course. Like, I don't know if they're trying to buy themselves a couple of more years here because I don't know which way the owner's going to go. Like, let's say Fields doesn't play until, say, week 8, and they're bad.
Right.
Could you see those two being fired, and then you have a whole new regime coming in with Justin Fields? Do we know if they believe in Justin Fields? Listen, I'm not the biggest Justin Fields believer, but this can get shaky for this kid, especially if they get rid of the coach and the GM, because that's the tie right there.
I agree.
Those are the ties. If they get rid of them, it's really sketchy.
I think those are two guys, especially Ryan Pace, that they're long overdue for their jobs to be taken from them. Ryan Pace is, I've never seen someone get 2 chances to pick a franchise quarterback, to be honest with you. So
the timing of this isn't good. They should have fired him. It's the same thing with Dave Gettleman. The Giants shouldn't have, let Dave Gettleman walk the second they let Pat Shurmur walk. It's not a good situation. Same thing with the Jets. Well, not really with the Jets, but you know what I mean.
With Mike McCagnon, they did that. They hired the new coach, and then they fired him after the draft too, which was bizarre.
Yeah, but I was thinking of it the opposite way. Like Douglas should have fired Gaze, but didn't Gaze help get Douglas here?
Gaze basically hired Douglas, which is the weirdest part because the GM usually hires a coach, not the other one.
Yeah. Well, good thing Gaze actually did something good there.
Yeah,
if he did. All right, let's move. Do we need to talk about anybody else? We have to talk about the division. I think the Packers are going to be the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is still there.
Right.
This is going to be their last run at this, I believe. I think Rodgers is out after this year, whether it's retirement, whether he goes to another team. I think the Vikings just missed the playoffs. I think the Vikings can be good. I think they're going to have a nice offense. I like Kirk, but Kirk's another guy that's not vaccinated. That could be a big issue. And we know how Kirk can be. He's not the most consistent guy. So he gets a bad rap. Kirk, he can play, Kirk. His numbers are good. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they just miss. And we don't have to talk about the Lions.
The Vikings are a team that I've liked for a while, and they disappointed me. I mean, I think me and you were on the same page last year. We thought they had potential to go really far. But yeah, they're not as good as we thought. That defense is not good.
No,
at all.
It's not.
If it's because there were some decent names on that defense, but it's not good.
if they step up this year, we know the offense is going to be good. They can do some damage.
Right.
I love Mike Zimmer. I think he's a top NFL coach. But do we forget him in our coach power rankings? That's
I would
bad
not
miss.
put Mike Zimmer in the top 5 if that's what you're saying.
No, but maybe in the top 10. I don't even know if I put him in the top 10. I did a top 10 list.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's a
There's
bad
a lot
mess.
of good coaches.
There are a lot of good coaches. All right, let's move over to the NFC South, where I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finishing at 14-3. You know, they got actually, I keep wanting to talk about each team, but I forget we're just going through the list.
Yeah.
So you stop me next time I forget.
All right.
All right, so first, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-3. Coming in second, I've got the New Orleans Saints at 8-9. Coming in third, I've got the Atlanta Falcons at 8-9 as well. And then coming in fourth, I've got the Carolina Panthers led by Sam Darnold at 6-11.
All right. Coming in first, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks at 14-3. Coming in second, I have the New Orleans Saints at 10-7.
Okay.
Coming in third, I have the Atlanta Falcons 7-10. And coming in last, I have the Carolina Panthers at 4-13.
Wow. Low for your boy Sam Darnold there.
Yeah, not loving the Panthers. I think
Really not loving the Panthers.
They have some good young players on that team, but I think the overall roster and the depth and not so hot.
I think the defense is going to take a step. I think that's part of my reasoning in getting them to like 6 wins. I think Darnold will be, okay. I don't know if he's the guy there, but they have pieces on offense that I think he can work with.
That offensive line is just horrible.
It's not good. It's not good. So it's a project. I trust Matt Rule though. I do. I think Matt Rule is going to be a good coach. So we'll see. They play in a good division.
I think hands down the most interesting team in this division has got to be the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Drew Brees is gone, and now you got Jameis Winston ready to take the reins and see what he can do. Taysom Hill, how's he gonna, how does he fit into this team? And then Michael Thomas, there's been drama with him about him getting traded. He's hurt. He's not even going to be ready to play the first 6 games at least of the season. But I'm high on this team. I have them going 10-7. I have them making the playoffs. And here's my reasoning for it. I like Jameis Winston. I don't think he's, a top 10 quarterback, but I think he's a talented quarterback. We've seen him throw for 5,000 yards, and he's a gunslinger. He threw 30 picks that year, but he also threw 33 touchdowns. So he's a gunslinger. But my kind of my reasoning is, the coaching. Sean Payton's a great coach, but so you have that, and then Drew Brees. What was Drew Brees his last couple of years in New Orleans? He wasn't the Drew Brees that we know. He was not Drew Brees in his prime. He was Drew Brees at 40 years old. He lost his downfield accuracy was dreadful. Couldn't throw deep passes really. They actually had a place where they brought Jameis in just for the purpose of throwing a deep ball. So I think this roster is still pretty good, and they have, obviously got Sean Payton still there and the good coaching staff. So 10-7.
Yeah. I'm sick of the Saints.
So am I.
I don't like the Saints, but I
still think they're going to be good.
I'm so sick of them. I'm going to predict that they are going to take the step back. I think their defense has kind of been – I don't think their defense was very good last season. It wasn't like top to the point where they're going to carry them. And I don't like their offense. It wasn't good last year. You're right. I don't think it's going to be that much better. So I'm going to say 8-9. The Bucs didn't get off to that really hot start. So I think 2 wins right there are taken away. I think the Bucs beat them twice. So 8-9 I think is fair. I also think the Falcons are going to be pesky. I think they're going to be really good offensively. Obviously, Calvin Ridley, the boy, and I think Matt Ryan's going to have a nice year. And obviously, Kyle Pitts is going to be big time for them. Defensively, they might be iffy, but I think they're going to get into shootouts, and their luck's got to turn right at some point. Like that, blowing games, like their record should be a lot better than it has the past few years. So I think the luck will turn there.
And
I think they'll win some of these
now,
games.
So Arthur Smith, let's see how he helps that out. I'm high on Ridley. You're high on Ridley. I think Matt Ryan's getting disrespected lately. Honestly, I don't think Matt Ryan's the Matt
Yeah.
Ryan we normally know, but some people are, trying to write this guy out of town. And I don't think he's at that point yet. I think he's still a productive quarterback in this league. So, yeah, I like the Falcons this year to make a little noise. Nope, not playoffs, but they'll make a little noise.
Completely agreed. And obviously, Tampa Bay Bucks are the Tampa Bay Bucks. When you return everybody from a dominant Super Bowl performance,
Right.
first place is first place.
Right.
Let's move over to the best division in football, the NFC West.
Yeah.
Coming in first, I've got the San Francisco 49ers at 12-5. Coming in second, I've got the Los Angeles Rams finishing at 12-5. Coming in third, I've got the Seattle Seahawks at 10-7. And coming in last, I've got it pains me, the Arizona Cardinals at 8-9.
Might be the most interesting division of football. I mean,
Yeah,
a
100%.
bunch of great teams. Coming in first, I got the Los Angeles Rams at 12-5. Then I have the San Francisco 49ers at 11-6. Then the Seattle Seahawks at 10-7. And then the Arizona Cardinals at 9-8. So I literally got 12, 11, 10, 9 in win totals.
Wow.
So it's going to be a tight race. And I think it didn't work out this way in my my little predictor game here, but could we see an entire division make the playoffs? I don't think it's completely out of the equation.
It's definitely possible.
They're going to have to, they all play each other and beat up on each other, so it's tough. They're going to have to do some damage outside of the division, but it's not impossible.
I love my boy Kyler Murray out there in Arizona. I don't think they get in. That's really the story with them. I don't know how great the offense is going to be. I think the offensive line is still a question. Running back still a question. I don't know how their run game is going to be. But defensively, they should be solid. They don't do a lot of things great. There's nothing there like, oh, they're really dominant here. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I don't have them in at all. Seattle, I still believe in them. Yeah, I think Russell Wilson. Listen. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I got them as a wild card, but I just think Russell's got to be consistent.
Right.
I think he's great.
Right. And you're right. He does need to be consistent. I don't love Seattle. I have them 10-7 just because they're in it every year. Like, they're gonna be there. So that's really the only reason I have them. I do have them making the playoffs, yes, but I'm not as high as that on them. I think this roster is still very flawed. I don't think they have the makeup to be a serious contender for a championship.
Agreed.
So I have them finishing there. And then obviously you're a tad bit higher on the 49ers than I am. I mean, you only have them winning one more game, but you have them winning the division. I like the Niners. I love Kyle Shanahan. They got really bad luck last year with injuries and everything like that. Not being able to play games at home. They're playing in Arizona. So yeah, that team had a lot of adversity last year. I think as long as they stay healthy, that defense is going to be fantastic. And Jimmy G, is he playing the whole year? Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think Jimmy G or Trey Lance at quarterback, this team's making the playoffs.
Yeah, the Rams, to me, I think they're going to kind of get off to that start that the Bucks did. Where they start off slow with a new quarterback in Matt Stafford. I think they're going to figure things out, though. And I think they could be a dangerous team when it comes to playoff time. With the 49ers, man, they got a great coach, Kyle Shanahan. They have a tremendous offensive line. I think they've got weapons on the outside that we don't even know about yet. The run game is going to be great. And they've got a loaded defense. I think overall they have one of the top 3 to 5 best rosters in all of football. Yeah. And I think no matter who's playing quarterback, I think they're going to be able to win games. So I'm very excited to see this 49ers team play.
Agreed. And, we talk about the Rams. Yeah, Matt Stafford's in town now. So that only helps going from Jared Goff to Matt Stafford. That defense is phenomenal. Overall, they have a great roster. I mean, the rosters in this division are just fantastic. And I think they're going to be able to win the division. Super Bowl, who knows? But I think they'll be better than they were last year with Matt Stafford.
All righty. So let's go over each playoff team now that we got in. We'll start in the AFC.
All right. You want me to go by seeding?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
All
5,
right.
6,
Number
7.
1 seed in the AFC I have is the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, Tennessee Titans. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Then your wild card teams. Number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 6, the Indianapolis Colts. And number 7, the Cleveland Browns.
Wow. Okay. My number 1 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2 seed, Buffalo Bills. Number 3 seed, Baltimore Ravens. Number 4 seed, Tennessee Titans. Number 5 seed, Cleveland Browns. Number 6 seed, New England Patriots. And number 7 seed, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Very nice.
There we go. Okay. NFC time.
All right. NFC number 1 seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2 seed, the Los Angeles Rams. Number 3 seed, Green Bay Packers. Number 4 seed, Dallas Cowboys. Number 5 seed, San Francisco 49ers. Number 6, the New Orleans Saints. And number 7, Seattle Seahawks.
My number 1 seed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The number 2 seed, Green Bay Packers. The number 3 seed, San Francisco 49ers. The number 4 seed, Dallas Cowboys. Number 5 seed, LA Rams. Number 6 seed, Seattle Seahawks. And the number 7 seed, the Washington football team.
So me and you have the same exact playoff teams, except you have Washington, I have New Orleans, and then in the AFC, you have New England and I have Indianapolis.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
So there we go. We're right on par there.
Division winners. Did we go 8 for 8? No. You had San Francisco. That was the only one, I think.
Yes, that's the only it's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. 7 out of 8.
I am shocked that you did not pick the Colts because you've been Mr. Colts the whole offseason. And I know you explained it, but I'm still surprised.
I did the research. I really did some digging. And
you're a big Frank Reich guy.
I know.
You like you some Colts.
Well, I can get burned here, but
no,
after doing some research, you go through the schedule. I don't like their matchups. I'm like, maybe they aren't that great, and I don't think they are. Offensively, I think Wentz might struggle a little bit.
I could definitely see that happening.
All right, so let's go on to the playoff. This should be exciting.
All right, so I got to go by like matchups and everything. So are you on this?
So why don't you
go? The website do it for you?
Yes. So go to when you're on week 18, hit next.
All right.
And now pick your games. God forbid we did this hours ago.
Okay, take it easy. All right, so in the AFC. What?
Let me start.
All right,
I'll start. I'll show you how we're doing it. Okay, so this is the wild card round. So I've got the matchups are the Cleveland Browns will go to the Tennessee Titans, the New England Patriots will go to Baltimore, and the Los Angeles Chargers will go to Buffalo. I've got the Browns upsetting the Titans, going to the Titans. The 5 seed Browns will take over, beat the Tennessee Titans. I've got the number 6 seed New England Patriots upsetting the number 3 seed Baltimore Ravens. And I've got the Buffalo Bills taking care of business at home to move on to the divisional round, and the Bills will beat the Chargers.
All right. First round, Ravens-Browns. Nice little division matchup.
Wow, that'll be nice. That would be nice.
Ravens winning that game. Then I got Titans-Colts, another divisional matchup.
Wow.
Titans are going to take that one. And then Bills-Chargers. The Buffalo Bills get upset.
Wow.
In Orchard Park, and the Los Angeles Chargers are marching on.
Wow.
Did you do NFC? Sorry.
Of course I did. I gotta announce my NFC, but of course I did it. I'm all prepared.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, I've got the Los Angeles Rams upsetting the number 4 seed Dallas Cowboys, moving on to the divisional round. I've got the San Francisco 49ers taking care of business against their division rival, the Seattle Seahawks. The 3 seed moves on to the divisional round. And then I've got the Washington football team taking on the Green Bay Packers. And I got the Packers taking care of business. The 2 seed beats the 7 seed to move on to the divisional round.
All righty. Los Angeles Rams hosting the Seattle Seahawks. That's a Los Angeles Rams victory. The Packers hosting the New Orleans Saints. Packers move on. And the Dallas Cowboys hosting the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, I think, outcoached the Cowboys in this game. And unfortunately, as much as I'm all over the boys this year, I think their magical season, if you want to call it that, ends there, and the Niners advance.
Cowgirls out.
Oh.
All righty. The divisional round. Just click next. You got the next round right there on the website.
Gotcha.
Okay. The Cleveland Browns will travel to Buffalo. And their dreams won there. The Buffalo Bills, the 2 seed, will take care of business to move on to the AFC Championship game. The New England Patriots will go to Kansas City, and they'll lose a tough one. The magical season for Mac Jones will end there. Kansas City, the 1 seed, will move on to play the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game.
All right. The Chiefs against the Chargers. A nice little divisional matchup again.
You win the divisional matchups.
Chiefs take care of business. Then so they go to the AFC Championship game. And then the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Tennessee Titans, a matchup we have seen now 3 years in a row at this point. And this is the rubber game, I guess you could call it. And the Ravens take care of business. And we got a nice little Ravens Chiefs AFC Championship game. I've been wanting to see this in the playoffs, this matchup, for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of people have been calling for this one.
And I think it happens this year.
Well, I hope you're right, because that would be – oh, actually, I don't hope you're right, because my team would be out. But that would be interesting. Okay. NFC side. The San Francisco 49ers will travel to Green Bay and beat the Packers. The San Francisco 49ers, the 3 seed, will move on to the NFC Championship game. The dreams end there for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And then the number 5 seed Rams will travel over to Tampa Bay and get crushed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will move on in a dominant fashion to the NFC Championship game to take on the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. The Green Bay Packers go to LA. Same matchup as last year, but this time it's in Los Angeles. And I think Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer happens this weekend, and the Rams advance to the NFC Championship game. I think it'll be a real good game, but I think it ends there. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the San Francisco 49ers. Another great game. Bucs end up coming out with the victory going, and they face the Rams in the NFC Championship game. So what's your final 4 right now?
So my final 4 is the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Nice. I got the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Here we go. Your side for the AFC.
In the AFC, for the first time in Lamar Jackson's career, he advances to the Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens take care of business against the Kansas City Chiefs. No 3 appearances in a row for the Chiefs.
Wow. I agree with you. Only I think the Buffalo Bills will move on to the Super Bowl. No 3 appearances for the Chiefs. I think the Bills' defense is improved. I think Josh Allen's a stud. I think Sean McDermott's a great coach. And they will move on. A magical season for the Buffalo Bills. And on the other side, the San Francisco 49ers will not go to Tampa Bay and beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers will get back to the Super Bowl and have another dominant season, and Tom Brady will be in another Super Bowl.
Yes, he will. I also agree. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Los Angeles Rams and advancing to the Super Bowl.
Your Super Bowl winner.
My Super Bowl winner. I think the Baltimore Ravens get it done.
Wow.
And hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and Lamar Jackson finally puts all the haters to sleep and proves that he is a quarterback who is winning and is here to stay in the National Football League.
There you go. Well, I got Tom Brady not winning another one. Josh Allen will pull off the upset in the Super Bowl.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah, the Bills?
No, Tom Brady not winning.
Oh, the Buffalo Bills for the first time will win a Super Bowl.
Look at
It'll be a magical season. I know. I hope it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it happens for this team. But yeah, I've got the Bills winning the Super Bowl here.
Look at that. So we both got the Bucs losing in the Super Bowl, and we have a 2018 quarterback winning the Super Bowl, but just two different ones.
Exactly. Very nice.
Love
All right,
it.
you want to get to our awards here.
Let's get to the awards.
Okay. I want you to start with the MVP.
All right, my MVP. As much as I wanted to go with a Rodgers or a Mahomes or whatever,
Don't cry.
nobody's here to hear that. I got Dak Prescott coming out and winning the MVP of the National Football League. This guy, before he got hurt last year, was putting up video game-esque numbers. I mean, passing for 450 yards a game, basically. That high-powered offense, I think they're going to be in some high-scoring games. He's going to have to put up some big stats. So, yeah, I think he throws to Amari and CeeDee Lamb all year and hands off to Zeke and rides into a most valuable player award.
Very nice. Dak Prescott. Probably be a comeback player of the year, too.
Oh, yeah, easily.
My MVP, it'll be right on par. Josh Allen. I think if it's possible for him to take a next step, I think he will. I think he's that good.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Not right there with Mahomes.
Just say that. You just cut out real quick. Say that.
I did cut out, right? Yeah. You know, I think Allen takes, if it's possible, takes that next step. And I really do see him as that second best quarterback after this season, right behind Patrick Mahomes. No disrespect to Rodgers. I just think Allen's right now, I would say Rodgers, but at the end of the season, I think we're going to say Allen as the second best. Bold is right. My defensive player of the year, Nick Bosa. I think Bosa comes back from that injury. Big time year that he plays on a great defensive line. And I think he's going to get the numbers this year. I think he's so dominant. You know, the sack numbers don't have to be there. The pressures are what, the real people look for.
Right.
And I think they'll all be there. I think he'll have all the numbers. Yeah, the real smart people.
Okay.
The real smart people will look for those numbers, and I think Bosa gets it.
Yeah, I considered Nick Bosa for my defensive player of the year.
Oh, why don't you cry?
I'm going with a different pass rusher, another extremely high pick, number 1 overall pick, actually. Myles Garrett, I have winning the defensive player of the year. Just scary dude, real scary dude. Can get to the quarterback in a hurry, and I think he locks up the defensive player of the year. What about your offensive player of the year?
You know how you asked me, you were like, you going chalk or are you trying to be interesting? And I said, I'm trying to be interesting, right? My offensive player of the year, Jonathan Taylor.
Wow.
You know how much I like me some Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
The offensive line is very good. I think he's going to have a lot of volume in that offense. I think it's his backfield, obviously. Whether it's, in the passing game or they're running the ball, I think they're going to run the ball a lot with Carson Wentz back there. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a big, big time season. And I think he's going to win some fantasy leagues.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I there are some guys on this list that I just didn't put there, but like I kind of just wanted to throw their names out there. Like for the defensive player of the year, I put Myles Garrett, but if I could just throw in a little dark horse candidate, I really like Brian Burns of the Carolina Panthers, and I think he finally breaks out this year in his third year and like goes crazy. It's
Yeah.
a little bold, but that's all I'm saying. And then for this, I got Devonte Adams winning Offensive Player of the Year. I think him and Rodgers are going to go off together this year. Rodgers is going to probably be his last year. Devonte Adams probably be his last year. He's going to be a free agent. So I think Rodgers says, here, go get yourself a payday. I'm going to feed you the ball all year. Devonte Adams wins Offensive Player of the Year. And my sleeper for that, I'd say, is a little another league winner. Calvin Ridley.
Love me some Calvin Ridley. Absolutely.
Love Calvin Ridley.
You should have went bold. You should have went bold. Should have said Calvin.
I think Devonte Adams, nice 18, 20 touchdowns, something crazy like that. I think he's capable of doing it.
Alrighty. Offensive Rookie of the Year. You want to go? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
So I actually switched this 3 times. I had Trey
good.
Lance. And then I was like, I don't know how much playing time Trey Lance is going to get. And then I put Trevor Lawrence. And while I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a massive, massive year, I mean, I think Lawrence is going to put up big numbers. I just don't think it's going to be enough for them to win games. The guy I see actually winning games and the guy I see getting votes is Mac Jones. So I'm going to say Mac Jones in that system. He's going to work. He's going to be very good. And I think Mac Jones is going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right. I actually didn't go the quarterback route here as much as I'd love to throw my boy Zach Wilson for this
You didn't
award.
throw your boy Zach Wilson?
No, I have Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to get the ball shoved down his throat this year. That offensive line's a little sketchy, but he can catch, he can run, he can do everything. He's ultra talented, scary dude. So yeah, I think Najee will be able to win the Rookie of the Year.
That's what they say about me. Ultra talented.
Really?
Yeah.
As in they, you mean like delusional people or?
Here we go. All right. Give me your Defensive Rookie of the Year.
So my Defensive Rookie of the Year, this was a really weak draft class defensively. I mean, the first defender taken off the board was the 8th pick, 9th pick, whatever. So I got a little bold here. I'm going, oh my God, I always forget how to pronounce his name. Can you help me out here? JOK of the Cleveland Browns, Notre Dame, Jeremiah
Owusu something.
I don't even want to try and pronounce it, but him, yeah. I got
Good
him.
pick.
He's I think he's a nice little dark horse. He was a guy who was projected to be a first round pick, kind of slipped in the draft. And I think the Browns defense looks real nice this year. You got Myles Garrett winning Defensive Player of the Year, and then you got him Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there you go. He's like a little dark horse candidate.
Owusu
A lot of people.
Koromoa.
Yes,
is exactly how you pronounce it, I guess.
Look at you being smart.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, sometimes. All right, my Defensive Rookie of the Year might be a little chalk. I got Micah Parsons. I think he's going to make a massive difference on this Dallas Cowboys defense. And, the publicity, the Dallas Cowboys stars get. I do think he's a really good player, though. He's a sideline to sideline type guy. And I think he's going to really make that defense better. And I think Dan Quinn's going to put him in good situations as a defensive coordinator over there in Dallas.
I don't hate that. All right.
Coach of the Year.
My Coach of the Year. I think we all know that the Coach of the Year doesn't really necessarily go to the Coach of the Year. It's kind of like that surprise team that gets in the playoffs or something like that. So I got Brandon Staley his first year with the Los Angeles Chargers winning the Coach of the Year.
Look at you. I love Brandon Staley. I think he's going to have a nice career over there in LA.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so for my boy Justin Herbert too.
Yeah.
My Coach of the Year, Kyle Shanahan. I think he's going to win the division. I think they're going to have a great year, and I think he's going to be forced to do a lot of different things, especially with the quarterback position. If he can win with 2 quarterbacks, that's going to be a lot of credit to him. So I don't think they're going to have a choice but to give it to him.
Is that a conclusion to all our
That
awards and everything?
that's a conclusion. That
We
was
I feel like we just flew through that.
I don't feel that way. I think
Really?
we took a lot of time.
That was fun.
That was a lot of
I
fun.
was looking forward to this a lot and had a good time.
It was good. I'm kind of surprised. We really had a lot of similar thoughts there.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're both very smart, handsome young men.
Yes.
So,
Right.
you know,
Italian as well.
yes. So I think it kind of course we're gonna have that. That's sometimes a problem. I'm like, that's why first take works and all that stuff, because if you can't put two smart people across from each other like that. You gotta put two
Yeah.
idiots. You
Right.
gotta put Skip Bayless. Imagine if Skip Bayless and like Max Kellerman were on the same show.
I'd shoot myself.
Oh,
And look, you got Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin right now.
yeah, we're gonna get a little off topic here, but I gotta bring this up. Colin Cowherd made a point today where how we were talking about Tony Romo's all over Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So Tony Romo said Zach Wilson is going to be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL in the next couple of years, is what he said.
Yeah.
So bold, but whatever. Colin Cowherd goes, Tony Romo, there's a 0% chance that happens, and I'll tell you why. Zach Wilson isn't going to be winning next couple of years. You need to be winning in order to be considered a top quarterback. Pat Mahomes, he wasn't considered a winning quarterback until the Chiefs started winning games. I was like, what? He's like, take away the winning. Pat Mahomes would be a Matt Stafford, a guy who just puts up numbers and doesn't win. I'm like, did this guy really just compare Pat Mahomes and Matt Stafford? And then he made it even worse by throwing Jameis Winston's name into the mix and saying Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards, threw for 30-something touchdowns, and the Buccaneers just let him walk. You know why? Because he didn't win. I was like, he kind of left out the part where Jameis threw 30 interceptions. It's kind of important. So yeah, Colin Cowherd's a clown.
I like me some Colin Cowherd, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he's a clown.
He's entertaining.
I like his daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do I. I think Cowherd's wrong here. I do think that the winning has definitely helped Pat Mahomes. I can agree to that. I can also agree with him where if Zach Wilson isn't winning, I don't think you can consider him a top 3 quarterback.
No,
I agree there.
I think it helps.
You're right with the comparison. You can't compare Pat Mahomes' talent level.
No, but I think it helps Mahomes because everybody wants to call him the baby goat and the next Brady. Everybody wants to look for the next Brady. So yeah, the fact that he won a Super Bowl and the Chiefs are so good, it helps him in that way. But I think Deshaun Watson. I think a lot of people think Deshaun Watson is the top 5 quarterback in the league, and they just went 4-13. He had the best year, 4-12. He had the best season of his career. So
yeah, but you see Watson dropping on lists though. Like it's not.
That might be like, because he's got 22 women accusing him of sexual assault.
You're right. That could also do it. But when he was winning, we were talking about him a lot more.
Yeah, I guess. But when you look at the stats,
winning helps a lot. I understand that.
Winning helps everything. But I think you could be a top quarterback in this league and not necessarily have to be, in the AFC, NFC championship every year.
Time will tell who's right, Colin Cowherd or Tony Romo. Colin Cowherd tomorrow night. I don't want to plug any podcast, any other podcast or anything, but on the Volume Sports Network, his podcast network, he's going to have Eli and Peyton on. That's going to drop tomorrow. So can't wait for that.
Nice. One Hall
Joe
of Famer
Judge
and one idiot.
So Eli the Hall of Famer and Peyton the idiot.
Nope.
All right. So that's gonna do it for episode 31 of the Hardline Sports Talk. I had a great time doing the NFL predictions.
Wait, real quick.
Send us what?
Bucks, boys, what are you picking? The spread.
Right.
What do you want?
I'm taking the boys plus 7.5. Mm-hmm. I'd hammer that. I think the Bucks are gonna. I think the Bucks this season. I don't think they're going to start off slow like they did because I think they're going to win a lot of games. But I think in the beginning, it's an old roster coming back.
Super Bowl hangover a little bit.
A little, not that they're losing bad games, though, just that they're not maybe covering spreads here, that they're not blowing teams out in the beginning. I think they'll get to that point where they're really dominant, but not in the beginning.
I think the Bucs win this game, but I agree. I'm going to take the Cowboys plus 7.5. I think it's a really good game.
So do I. 7.5, way too much.
Big.
And even a backdoor cover, too. We're going to be doing picks. We're going to have a little picks system we're going to do. We'll explain that all on Thursday when we make our picks, but I'm very excited for Thursday and the weekend.
A big week. Fantasy. I got 2 fantasy drafts the next 2 days. I know you do too.
I got 3.
So, you got 3. You got 2 tomorrow now.
2 tomorrow and 1 Wednesday.
Brutal, but hey, that's what we do. It's a draft day. You got to love draft days.
Exactly. So that'll do it for episode 31. We will talk to you guys later in the week. Have a good one.